Hello friends, I'm glad you came to my channel. I would really appreciate your support in helping me reach 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. Thank you. Let's get to the story. I sat there staring at nothing. You might wonder why I was just requested to be a cuckold for a week by my wife Sarah. My name is David, and I was aware of the answer before Sarah asked, but I had hoped she wasn't that naive. I needed to regain my breath, but I wanted to answer calmly. First, you see, I have a history of being an idiot. I know I'm one, and I wear the title with honor. This all started about a week ago when we were at my sister's barbecue. There were 15 couples there, and the wine and beer were flowing freely. Good friends, good food, and a smashing good time. Then someone yelled out, "Let's play truth or dare." Our host, my sister Emily, started off the game by asking her husband Tom to perform a dare. She asked him to massage Lisa's feet. Lisa's husband, Mark, just laughed and told him to wash his hands afterwards, as she had very hard and bad feet. As Tom was rubbing them, Emily asked Lisa how the cuckolding was going. A few of the husbands, including me, looked like someone spat in our beers. Then Mark messed up my head even more by answering. He said, with no bitterness, Lisa has 3 lovers now and is looking for more. Now that I was being myself, I wanted to ask Mark what the hell was wrong with him and slap him on the side of the head. But my wife's glance could melt Alaskan ice, and I was a visitor. I took another beer and said nothing. Damn, where's Captain Morgan when you need him? I thought listening to this was going to be hard. As I said, I am an idiot, but I sat like a good little hubby and said nothing. After about 10 minutes of Mark's recounting of how hot it was to see Lisa being DP'd, I got up and headed for the restroom. I was in there for about 20 minutes, talking to myself. I had to speak softly because any louder and people would think I was a nutcase. After I calmed down a bit, I opened the bathroom door and there stood Emily with her hands on her hips, looking at me like I ruined her barbecue. I said, "What's up, sis?" Emily, in her normal way of getting on my nerves, said, "How in the hell can you be so mean?" Me? Mean? What the hell are you talking about? I haven't done or said anything. I promised Sarah I would be a good boy, and I have been. Emily then proceeded to tell me that Mark was showing his love for Lisa by allowing her to do this. When Lisa finished exploring, she explained that she and Mark would be a stronger couple. I just had to ask, how is screwing other men going to make a couple stronger? Emily was put back by the way I said it. I guess since I am older, I should understand what women want. Hell, I didn't even know what my freaking wife wanted, and I have been married to her for 11 years. David, you need to open your mind to new things, said Emily. Once again, I just had to ask, has Tom opened up his mind to Lisa and Mark's new idea of marriage? Emily went on to tell me what was expected of a husband who had cheated. I had to ask the same question twice because she spoke so passionately. Is your husband Tom open to this? I inquired once more. I haven't asked him yet. I wanted Mark to spring it on the husbands first. For the first time in my life, I wanted to slap the hell out of my sister. Emily, you have got to be out of your mind. If you ask Tom and he agrees, I'll watch the kids for you while you go on your manhunting trips. I'll even wash your car, but I won't leave you alone with my wife ever again. With that, I turned and headed back to the barbecue. Mark was talking to Lisa, Sarah, and a few other wives. The guys were by the grill waiting for me to come back. Tom was the first to ask what I thought of the whole thing. I said, "Tom, if Sarah tries that, I'll be out the door before you can scratch your left nut. I will not put up with a cheating wife. And if I find out she cheated, was cheating, or planned on cheating, I will divorce her before the jizz from her lover has dried. I don't care or even want to know what Mark is thinking. It's his life. If he wants to swing or whatever else, that's his choice. But it's not for me." After my short outburst, Sarah walked up and said it was time to go. We said goodnight to everyone and headed out. We live about 45 minutes from my sister, so I was in for a long drive. Right off the bat, Sarah said, "You shouldn't judge a lifestyle until you try it." At that point, I had to ask myself if I wanted to start a fight now or after I got some. Like I said, I'm an idiot, so I chose to shut up until I got some loving. The whole drive home, Sarah talked about Mark this and Mark that. I wanted to tell her, if you keep talking about Mark, then you can marry him. As we pulled up to the house, Sarah started rubbing my leg. Oh yeah, here comes the real makeout, and if I'm lucky, I'll get both again in the morning. Needless to say, it was a good night. Then she pulled out the big guns. Sarah got intimate with me for 7 days continuously, at least twice a day. But on the 8th day, the campaign began. David, can I talk to you without you getting mad? I said, sweetie, after the week you just gave me, we can talk about anything, and I will even listen. She looked a little worried, but started with the usual. David, you know I love you, right? I love you more and more each day, but I think we need to spice up our romance. Now, me being me, the little voice in my head started going into overdrive. Now, David, don't say anything till I finish, said Sarah. You never let me get my side out before you say no. I said, honey, you're right. I'll let you finish and then I'll say no. Then Sarah started about how if I loved her, if I truly loved her, then I would become a cuckold for a week. She said it and looked at me with those big puppy dog eyes, lips pushed out, and that sad little girl expression. It just broke my heart. No, I said. Sarah, I truly love you, and I would do anything for you. I want to make you happy. I live to be with you, to grow old with you, and have kids with you. But the only thing I can say to this is hell no. If you ever ask me something like that again, I'll burn the house down and move to Canada. If you want a cuckold, buy a bird. That being said, I got up and went out. I stopped by Angel's, my favorite sports bar. The bartender's name is Kevin, and he can make one hell of a Long Island iced tea. Kevin, my boy, start me a tab. I want a beer, a Long Island, and keep them coming. While I sat there drinking away my pain, guess who walked in? Mark, followed by Tom. They took the stools on both sides of me and looked at me like I'd passed gas or something. David, said Mark, what in the hell is the matter with you? You almost screwed up the barbecue. We have been planning this for weeks. I must have looked confused, because Tom just patted me on the back and said, just sit back and listen, David. Tom and I have been filming Lisa with all 3 guys she has slept with. I played along so it wouldn't have to pay out so much in the divorce. My lawyer said play along and get all the evidence that you need. You see, in Texas, it still matters if the spouse cheated or not. What Lisa doesn't know, Mark continued, is I found out that she and her lover were going to try and pull me into a threesome. That way it would look like I agreed to her fooling around. Not happening. But if I were cheated, then her lover wouldn't let me get intimate with her. Instead, she is being served as we speak. She can have the house, car, checking accounts and all. I just had to ask, why give that witch anything? She slept around behind your back and in front of you. Why pay a cheating woman? Since you ask, said Mark with an evil grin on his face, the house has a 2nd and 3rd mortgage, and the bank is about to foreclose on it. The car is leased, and I haven't paid a bill in 7 months. My paychecks are being deposited into my mom's account. As far as my employer knows, I'm taking care of my mom. My mom has been putting the money in her offshore account. You know, my mom always said she was a woman with no dignity. I should have listened. The beer flowed once more, and I had to take a cab home. I believe I arrived home at 3 in the morning. I'm not positive, but since I only made it to the flower bed, it didn't really matter. When Sarah went to investigate after hearing some noises, she saw me dozing off among her roses. That was once I got back to the real world. Another 30-minute altercation. The next thing I knew, a bucket of water was poured on me, and my dog was licking my face. What an evil woman, dousing my favorite chair. I asked her, who put the stick up your ass? Sarah looked at me and asked, David, did you know? Did I know? What in the hell are you talking about? Lisa was served with divorce papers and an eviction notice last night. I responded with, good for her. Now she can have whomever she wants. So you did know, said Sarah. Hell no, I didn't know anything until I ran into Mark and Tom last night, I said. So what's the hell gonna do now? I asked. Sarah just looked at me. I'd seen that look before. David, she needs a place to stay for a week or so, said Sarah. Please, please, David, she needs help. She has lost a lot. I said, oh, okay, but I don't know how she and Spike are both going to fit in the damn doghouse. David, that isn't funny. She needs our help, said Sarah. I mumbled under my breath. She needs a doctor to sew her legs closed. Ultimately, I gave in, and we let Lisa use the spare room. I asked Mark first to see if it was okay. Mark said he didn't care where Lisa went. She only made it through the first week. One night when Lisa and Sarah were sitting on the patio drinking wine, Lisa asked Sarah if she could sleep with me for one night because she needed sex. The next thing I heard was glass breaking and screaming. Then Sarah came in the house yelling, "David, get this witch out of my damn house!" She turned her fury towards Lisa. "I can't believe I let you stay here. Get your shit together and get the hell out. I mean now." After some really decent wooing later that evening, I found something really fascinating. The majority of women don't appear to mind sharing a man with another woman, but they don't seem to like sharing their men. Think for yourself. What's your opinion about this? Thanks for joining us in our stories, where revenge is served hot. Please consider subscribing to our channel to ensure your next chef remains loyal. Tune in for the next one to get your revenge appetite fulfilled. If you're below 18, hold on. It's not for the faint-hearted.